All right, Dow Jones, another crazy day. Prior to the open, the market was down about 10 handles, and basically it opened down 90 and went all the way up to plus 65. So that was a huge day at this 50 day. And I will not tell a lie, I didn't go usually I like to go at least I would say 5 to 10 positions, and I only did 2 positions, and those 2 positions got squeezed pretty well, and I'll show you basically what I had on regarding the setup. The weekly still looks pretty good so far. Remember, we're just on Monday, so you did have this hammer. Previous day I said shooting star by accident. Just wanted to correct myself. This is a shooting star. This candle at this weekly candle on 520 is a shooting star. This is a hammer. Just like I said, sometimes I'm moving too quick. My mind's ahead of my mouth, and I will misspeak. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. I also put a comment in yesterday's video to state that. With that being said, we have rising lower highs. Excuse me, higher lows. 1, 2, 3, and we're continuing, and we can see that we have a distribution candle. Geez, a lot of stuff going on. Distribution candle here, and we kind of just want to see if we're going to be able to close above this hammer, because the hammer tail is the biggest thing, because once that is voided, that means that we have the potential to move down to this level. But looking at the monthly, you can also see that we have a shooting star. And now we have currently, remember, the candlestick is not closed, so we're only on Monday, but currently we have a hammer. So we have a shooting star, we have a bearish engulfing pattern. So we need to be aware those are 2 months worth of cautious signs regarding Japanese candlesticks price and action movement. Also, which is can be a little frustrating, is that you could see over the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Yes, 6 months, including this month, we have been trading in a pretty tight wedge. Consolidation pattern. Could it break up? Absolutely. The break up is above this high of 15,709. Yeah, 15,709 is the break above this shooting star. Okay, so we had this candle, we have bearish engulfing, we have shooting star. If we get above that, we are back. But it's frustrating sometimes, and this is the part where a lot of people can lose their money. Even if you're looking at the higher time frames, that's fine. But if you start breaking them down to the lower time frames, you can still see that we are pretty much trading sideways. 1, 2, up, down, ping pong, wedge, consolidation, whatever you want to call it. It can be the thief of your money. And at the end of the day, it is sometimes or most of the time, very hard to predict which way it's going to break down. And prediction, never predict, just react. So if we get back to the daily time frame, we can see we're pretty much in, what we're saying. And we could trade this. These are very large swings. We could trade this either way. But right now, because of what's going on with external factors, we just have to be very careful. And if we look at the SP 500, you could see that we pretty much have, if we go to the monthly time frame, you could pretty much see we have pretty much the same thing. We have what would be considered almost like dark cloud cover, then you have a shooting star, but it looks like we can get above on the SP 500. The high is 1729.86, so keep that on your watch list, or keep that as far as market down and stuff like that. These are levels that you need to understand what's going on, and you can see it broke above that channel. And I thought it would at least give me a day of pullback or something like that for the positions I had, but it did not. And that's the way trading goes. So you have the composite, and what that means also is that I was wrong. And a lot of people won't admit, wow, that wasn't cool, won't admit when they're wrong, and I have no problem admitting I'm wrong, because one, it makes a trader that is a novice, or somebody that starts to say, listen, most people just trade when they're right, so you never think anybody's wrong. So then when you're wrong, you feel like you're being stupid. You feel like, why am I the only one wrong here and the market's against me? No, a lot of people don't tell you when they're wrong, and that's injustice to, well, you just have to make sure that you understand it. If they seem like they're 100% or 95% right, they're never telling you they're losers, and that's rubbish. So with the composite, we can see that we had another strong day, up 23 points, and we're approaching these new highs. You have the Russell approaching new highs as well. I think it actually broke two new highs, which if you look at the monthly, you can see that, I mean, if this isn't bullish, what's telling you? But in any case, let's start looking at some. I'm already 5 minutes in. I haven't talked about one stock yet. So let's go to Apple. Apple had the engulfing pattern yesterday and followed through with about almost a percent move to the upside. So we still see that we're pretty much in this. Got to see what it's breaking out, but it looks like it might be breaking out. But remember, this weekly doesn't close till Friday, so we have to kind of see where that goes from there. So, but so far you can see, you have something like this, and maybe you say it's like a bull pennant, or if you even want to move it to the side, wherever you want to really do it. I mean, you can see that we have the lower highs and higher lows, so we got to see where it breaks. And if you look at the weekly, you can see that this level right here is a previous level of past support that got broken down. So let's see if we can get above that 506, 510 area, and then it might be off the races for the bull side. Google recaptured this weekly downtrend line that I was telling you guys about. We had the hammer, and it looks if it can be engulfed, it definitely can, give you some more look to the upside, maybe to approach that 900 level or something to that aspect. Let me show you some stocks that I was looking. I got short. I'm looking to get squeezed on the Jazz. It gapped down and then it just came back on. So it might look like a piercing pattern right here. So I'm just going to roll my stop down and see, where it goes from there. I was also looking at cores for the short. And you can see I had the lines already in engulfing pattern to the downside. And again, it didn't break that 50 that I thought it was going to break, because I was looking at to say, listen, it could maybe get potentially down to the 66 level, because it was also down on the weekly as well. You got Biogen that gave a shooting star, and I looked at the shooting star of the 10, and I was like, you know what, I'm not really certain, so I'm not going to take this trade, and I'm glad I didn't, because it ended up being engulfing, and it looks like it could go back to the upside if it breaks, clears above this 240 level. It definitely could run. Another one I was looking to go short was Priceline. And the reason why I was looking to go short, you had the weaker volume and you had this shooting star as well. You can see I still had the lines up, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to take it because I'm uncertain. Glad I didn't take it. Okay, just keeping it completely real over here for you guys. This is another one I was thinking of taking. This one looks a little bit better for the short side. Nation Star Mortgage. And it was just looking more like an evening star, or maybe just just showing a lot of weakness, breaking back down, never clearing the 10. And this one might go lower, but you see that I didn't really like the risk reward over here, because if you look at the weekly, you could just see that hopefully if it breaks this level, it could get to this 46 level. But then I kind of just was looking at what was going on from there. Boeing looks good to the upside. Might be something you want to keep on your watch list. Goodyear, let's see if this thing can break, because you have a shooting star at the 10. You have bearish MACD. You have another kind of down day, but if it gets above the shooting star high right here, Thursday's high, you could definitely see it run to the upside. You got Facebook. Facebook, again, was another one that was looking weak. I said, you know what, I'm not going to really mess with it because I don't know where this thing is going. Again, another one I'm glad I didn't, because quite honestly, if it gets above this 50 level, it looks like it could definitely come back to run to this 51 level or even higher. So if you look at the weekly, you can see that it was a support at previous IPO high, and I knew that was kind of going to be major support. So I said, you know what, I'm not going to try to front run this thing, and I don't. At the end of the day, I don't care to say, I don't care if I'm wrong or not. I just don't want to make sure I don't put my money at risk trying to guess things. So Tesla, I had a partner of mine that I really help with his trading, and he was asking me, should I front run this thing? I said, I don't think so. Battery very low. And this was something that I said, you know what, I don't know if you should do that. I'm not a person that really, wants to do something like that. And if you look at this, you have a hammer formation, and if it engulfs, it could definitely look to get back to the upside towards that. You got Herbalife was another one I was looking that might could have got short, but I said, you know what, I'm not going to take it. And you see the lines already here for the flag, and I'm glad I didn't, because I was looking basically to get the lows of this day, and it never got below that. But again, there's a lot of craziness, and on the weekly, it still looks weak. You got a shooting star, you have an engulfing prior to that, or follow-up candle prior to that. So if it breaks this low of 61.70, that looks very weak to me. It could get back to this 56.90, 94 level. So you just want to kind of make sure that you're keeping that. You got Green Mountain Coffee still looks weak. Still looks very weak, actually. Daily, you can see this bounce right here is not really giving a lot of juice. If that 200 breaks the 200, I definitely will be looking to get to the short side and see if it can get to this 59.60 level, which is the gap fill from the previous earnings point. So, did Apple, Google, listed banking sector looks a little bit better. You got BAC looking nice engulfing pattern. If it could break that high, can it come back to this 1483 level? Maybe. You got a flag that could be setting up Citigroup if it could break above this high. But remember that this is definitely resistance on the weekly level. You can see why. So make sure you're looking at all time frames, even though you might get a little excited. JP Morgan. Maybe a piercing pattern. If it clears above this level, it could really look sexy. So again, VRX, another one that could be pending. If it gets above this, you got a nice hammer that's just forming. If it could get above this 111.02 level, then it could definitely come back and test these highs. But I'm over my time as usual. Let me do one more. Baidu. Baidu actually looked a little weaker today, so let's see if it can roll. If it can roll below this level or even this level, it could go down. So again, I'm not sure. This market has been pretty crazy, so let's see how it plays out. I thought that the money would be shifting a little bit. So sometimes, like there's times that utilities don't do well. There's times that consumer goods don't do well. Financials do well, even if the market is going up. So you just got to see how the money is flowing. And I was wrong. So this is about as real as it can get for most people. Most people are really trying to sell you that they're never wrong. And I'll tell you when I'm wrong or not. So I was wrong. I believe I'm rolling down my stops. So I do my risk management of about 1%, 1.5 tops. So, and there's another video I'll do on risk management to kind of really explain why I do these things. So again, wow.